welcome back to the John and Linetia Show.
We'd like to thank Snooki for joining us last hour.
Yeah, but what are we going to do about all this body glitter in the studio?
I have no idea, but some of it is crawling.
Ew!
Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah, just be careful.
Nasty.
The show's almost over.
Ugh.
So, one of the things in the news, and I guess people are talking about, is a, quote, rash of incidents where, let's face it, drunk-ass people are getting in their cars and getting on the expressways in the wrong direction.
Yes.
And causing fatal accidents. And, of course, what usually happens is these drunk-ass people aren't the ones always dying.
Right.
Which is a shame, but that's another story. But anyway, it's one of those things. If you look at the statistics are saying that actually there is no rash. It's been happening
forever.
At essentially, I think it was according to Illinois Department of Transportation that for the last 6 years. It's pretty much been steady across Illinois, and generally a little more, 5 or 6 of these incidents per month. So it's not necessarily, I look at it as not necessarily a rash of incidents. It's what the hell has the news media been not reporting this for?
That's true.
For 6 years.
That's true. Or it could be a thing of there's no news, no good news.
Yeah. Right now.
So they're doing beat calls.
Our horrible mainstream media that should be doing essentially examining all the corruption and the BS going on in our government, and instead it's let's find something that will strike a chord with viewers now. Ooh, all of these wrecks. Let's make everyone afraid to get on the expressway. You know what? You can't legislate against idiocy, and the fact is that you get a drunk guy behind the wheel, and they're mostly guys, behind the wheel. How are you going to stop them from going the wrong way on the expressway? You can't put those tire damage things, on the ramps.
Well, this also leads into another conversation of drunk driving, alcoholism. It could lead to anything, drug use.
Hey,
a number of conversations can stem from this.
Yeah, and in the end, what can be done on this? And I don't think much of anything can be done, on this. It's unfortunate, but it's another case of you've got these people, and what's ironic. I look at it too is that in a lot of cases you got these people and you find out that they've had been driving on a suspended license, or they've been arrested, 3 times in the last 5 years for driving on a suspended license.
Because they were drunk.
Well, even so, the fact is, I remember getting my license, and the idea was, it's not a right to have a driver's license; it's a privilege.
It's a privilege.
Okay? My feeling is, you've got to come down hard on anybody who is arrested, who's cited for driving on a suspended or no license. And by hard, I mean forfeit their car, fine them $20,000, something where it will take them off the street, okay? I don't care anything about their life, about, I need to drive for my job or whatever. If you've done something to get your license suspended and you get caught again, I think, jail, I think, it should be an automatic get them off the damn street.
Well, no, that still may not help. They still might get out there. And,
well, again, you can't legislate against idiocy.
There's nothing you could do sometime. Someone needs some type of intervention of some type. Yeah. So, speaking of intervention. Did you see the story in the news about the lady who is a lesbian, and she is a scout leader for Tiger Cub Scout in Ohio, but she was forced to resign because she is a lesbian. Yeah.
I read it.
Now, we do know that the Boy Scouts of America, they do have a rule.
Right.
It says, we do not grant membership to individuals who are open or avowed homosexuals or who engage in behavior that would become a distraction to the mission of the BSA.
Right.
Okay. I feel two things about this. Okay. Mm-hmm. One is I know how they feel. I know this is supposed to be a faith-based organization, but I'm just trying to figure out how is this going to become a distraction. I don't understand why her sexual preference has anything to do with her son being in there, and she is a scout leader. I don't understand why this has anything to do.
Well, I think I see what you're saying as far as like, is it going to impede them from taking paper plates and gluing macaroni on them and making macaroni art? I mean,
right.
In that respect, no. But the Boy Scouts of America likes to think of itself as some kind of an organization that will instill certain principles in youngsters, supposedly, it's like, training for life, and all of that. And, in their mind, even if you've got somebody who is, maybe, in their private lives, a lesbian, a homosexual or whatever, the idea being, for the Boy Scouts is that even if you have somebody who is well respected, and all of a sudden the boys find out, hey, wait a minute, this person that I respect is a homosexual. Wow, that's a good thing. Well, the Boy Scouts of America consider homosexuality to be a bad thing. They likely, if they wouldn't be accused of being hate mongers, they likely would rather the kids grow up to think that homosexuality was not good. So having somebody who actually is respected, who actually, the kids would look up to, who is, non-heterosexual, would be something that they don't want to come out and say it. But ultimately, the Boy Scouts of America don't want somebody like that to lead a good example.
I'm finding this appalling now. I find this appalling because if you are a faith-based organization, that means you're not supposed to pass judgment, and this is what they're doing. They're passing judgment on people.
This is wrong. The people of weak faith who misinterpret or will only interpret certain points of the Bible, of any holy book. Okay, and in this case, there are a lot of very strong things said only in the Old Testament.
Okay.
Right? Am I right
Old
about
Testament.
that? About against homosexuality. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's interpreted.
Yes. It's interpreted. Actually, it does come out and say it. Mm-hmm. Now, it also, says a lot of other strong things on, what to do to people and to your spouse and the such. So what happens is that that people will ignore certain things that are written and go, oh, we don't have to follow that. But then they fixate on these other things. Okay. And I always find it ironic, by the way, the term Old Testament is a complete insult, okay? Let's call it what it is. The New Testament you can call is the Christian Bible. The Old Testament is the Jewish Bible, okay? It's the Torah, okay? So these people who will tell you about following the teachings of Christ, and we both know that Christ would strike them down for hating homosexuals, as they do.
Because Christ loved everybody.
Of course, especially whores. But they follow the teachings of Christ, yet they're going to quote a book, basically, that is the foundation of Judaism. So, lots of flaws in these faith-based, but that said, you know what? Okay, you want your little club to be like that? Then fine. Okay. Ultimately, what needs to happen is people need to pull their kids out of the Boy Scouts. Somebody needs to create, I'm sure there is some other organization very similar that actually is more welcoming and more enlightened.
But there also might be people who are lesbian and homosexual who are parents in the Boy Scouts of America who just haven't come out.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yet. And
without
have not said anything just to protect themselves and their family.
Oh, I mean, just like all the conservatives and Republican lawmakers who are gay and haven't come out yet, and they will eventually. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I don't think this was right. I know they have rules and everything, but I just don't think it was right.
No, it's definitely not a Christian thing to do. So I don't, whatever their faith is based on, it obviously is not based on the real teachings of Jesus Christ.
Love everybody, regardless of color, race, or creed.
Yeah, and if they're prostitutes, love them too.
No, that would be the
Mary Magdalene was.
That would be the
everyone.
Yes.
I will be right back after these words from 1-877 Guns for Kids. Do you have a gun that you don't want anymore? Donate it to 1-877 Guns for Kids, and they'll give it to a kid in need of a gun.
You're listening to the John and Linetia Show.